making a joke about how.
Hey everybody, how are y'all doing today? Welcome to American Courts Live. Got some computer issues, so I had to use a different computer today, so I don't have the pretty little graphics and all that stuff. But I think we'll be just fine. I want to say hey to everybody: Victoria, Emily, KK, Nancy, Monica, Linus. Looks like we got a Donald's here. Looks like we're missing Nan, but we'll be all right. We'll find Nan pretty soon. Roll on G's here. Here we go. Nan got number 3, so hot damn. We can go ahead and get started. Tonight's going to be a lot of Judge Fleischer. There's a lot going on, and so we got a bunch of good ones here. Let's go.
Whatever names you called out.
Oh, okay.
He said it was Julia.
Yeah. You don't know, I can shave my legs.
Judge, I have the case number for the co-defendant.
Is she here with, or is this person here with us?
Yes, they're in custody. It's probably not.
Why is doesn't seem fair where one person's in custody, the other one's not. Either one or both should be in custody.
DOT people.
You're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
On September 23rd, 2024, officers made contact with the complainant at 1801 West Bay Area Boulevard in Harris County, Texas. The complainant, a Target employee, stated the defendant Garza arrived at the store alone, selected several items from different aisles, and placed them in a cart. The defendant was later observed to meet with the second defendant, Pineda, and walked together past all points of sale without purchase. The complainant stated the second defendant, Pineda, was pushing the cart while defendant 1, Garza, was walking beside him. The total stolen was $708.73. Defendant 1 was ID'd with a Texas ID, and defendant 2, Pineda, was identified with the date of birth.
So you said this is at a Target, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the fact that a case is dismissed play into the 2-year rule? So she had a case that was dismissed in 20, I guess that's, is that why? Did you looked into it? Okay, I imagine you did. Ms. Garza, how old are you? Since 2022, we are now in 24. Since a year and a half ago, you've picked up an endangering of a child, assault of a family member, assault, bodily injury, theft, possession of a controlled substance, and now another theft. So that is in a year and a half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now on your 9th case. If I send you to get drug and alcohol tested right now, what are you going to test positive for?
Marijuana.
What else? That's about it. I'm sending you right now for a drug and alcohol test. You must come right back. If you fail to come back, I will quintuple or 10 times the bond amount. Do you understand?
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
Nothing at the moment. I stay home and take care of it.
You stay home what?
I take care of my child.
You have a child. How many kids you got? 4 kids.
Yeah, those child and those were my kids.
Well, I want to send her for a drug test and we'll have her come right back. We will also go through every single one of your theft cases to see where all the places are. And we will talk about your bond conditions as to what you can and can't do. But first thing I want to know what is in your system. The other thing you need to understand is you're now working your 9th case. At some point, CPS is going to get involved in your life. And when that happens, it's not going to be, it's just, has CPS been involved in your life? Now, are they involved in your life now? Good. Okay, let's do it.
Martinez Elias.
Oh, me.
You tested positive for, provide me the list, please, of
Amphetamines, meth, benzos, and THC.
amphetamines, meth, benzos, THC, Xanax. It stops today. You will now be drug tested every Monday and Thursday. And if I find that you're using anything, I will make your bond so high that your teeth are going to cave. Do you understand? You will also now 3 times a week be doing NA classes and provide me proof that you were doing these classes. And if the one time you failed to provide me proof, likewise, you will stay with me. You are not to have any contact with the co-defendant in this case and not to go back to any. I think this was Target, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, is Mr. Slider working with us today?
No, he didn't pop up at all today.
Okay, it's now nearly 1 o'clock. I can't ask a lawyer to come back now. So what we'll do is, oh, okay. So if we appoint Ms. Garza, do you think Mr. D will get it so we don't have to call someone else out?
I really don't know. It's last time this happened, I said, Mr. D's still here. They populated somebody else.
Right, that's what I'm afraid to try to, if we, even if, since you're still here, it might be someone else and I don't.
Brian Gaither, if you email him directly, he can put him directly on it.
We tried that last
I
time
can
and
try
it still
again.
populated someone else and then we have someone else who's already out and about, they got, you know. So let's do this. What's today? Tuesday? She got to come back on Thursday to test anyway. So we'll give her an application now, send her with it, and then we can give her a lawyer on Thursday. Yeah. No, it's a theft case. I mean, if it was a DWI, yeah, but Ms. Garza, I know that you, and I don't know if you realize this, but I truly want what's best for you. Using meth, it's not, you know, who you're hanging out with, stop. What you're doing, who you're hanging out with. And with all the 9, I think, what was it, 9 priors that you have within the last year and a half, I wonder how much is related to the dope that you're using. It stops today. And I'm going to tell you, if I have to hold you in contempt, slap you with 180 days, probated for 2 years to put you in a rehab facility, I will do it in a heartbeat. We just took another young lady that's just 2 minutes ago. I have no problems doing it. Okay, so what we'll do now, do you mind giving an application? We'll send it home with her. We will see you back here on Thursday. We will have you take a drug test on Thursday. I will give you a pass for the next 2 days, but coming on next Monday, when you come to test again, if I still find that there's meth in your system, I'm going to jail you up. Do you understand? No more using. You were really looking at a lot of time in this case. You're looking at up to 180 days. So you must have at least 1 NA class between now and Thursday done with proof shown to me. Like on a sheet of paper like this, date, time, where you did it, name of the sponsor so that we know where you did it so we can verify. Okay, see you Thursday.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Slider.
Judge may approach.
Hey everybody, my microphone's working. The camera's not wanting to. Thanks everybody for the big and raid, man. I really appreciate it. It's good to see them numbers jump like that. We got a lot of Judge Fleischer tonight. He had a hell of a docket today, and the chat was going so much. Me and Linus didn't get to see much of it, so we figured we'd put it on here and get to watch it together this evening with you guys. We're going to jump on some more. We've got 6 different ones on tonight. We'll try to get out of here at least before the debate's over. All right, thank you.
Approaching on Yakima Capitilio, the GED that you wanted her program to get into. She's in the process of enrolling, which is probably not what court wanted to hear, but
Where's she?
she's got some,
Come up, ma'am.
I think she has some transportation and some living situation issues right now.
Let's find out. What are you doing with your life, ma'am?
What am I doing with my life? Right now, I'm currently barely getting stable at the house. I just recently moved house with my grandparents, but we switched locations from over there, Galleria, to over here, Aldine, Westville.
Still living with your grandparents?
Yes, I'm the only one that lives with them. I'm the one that tries to help them out.
Okay. How old are they?
They are 65 and up.
They don't need help.
Are they ill?
My grandma is.
Okay. What do you do? Are you working? You going to school?
I'm not working no more right now. I just recently left my job 2 weeks ago.
Why? I told you to get a job, not lose a job.
I already had a job when I had first seen you, but I left it because it's 40 minutes drive. It's a 40-minute drive away. I don't have transportation right now.
So what have you been doing between now and then, since the last 2 weeks?
Well, I've been looking for a different job nearby, and I got an interview coming up on the 8th for Academy.
I'm sending you for a drug and alcohol test now. What are you going to test positive for?
For THC.
Not going to go well for you, Ms. Capitillo.
I should be there from the first time that we got arrested.
So you haven't smoked since the last time you've been arrested? Judge, I think she's saying it may be something still in her system from when she was here. I don't see the date.
I mean, from August?
That's what, 60 days?
Really? Really?
Yes, sir.
Sending you for a drug and alcohol test right now, Ms. Capitillo. What I seem to think is happening is that you're not doing anything but smoking weed and doing nothing.
That's not
And
right.
that's not gonna, really? We'll see. I'm sending you for a drug test now. You must come right back and we'll see what happens.
Understood.
Thank you, Judge.
Gonzalez,
Say it again?
Humberto Gonzalez.
Okay.
You ready to accept the TRAS? We just need to submit the application so you can get the contract.
Supposed to submit it today. Is he here?
No, Your Honor.
He's supposed to be here as well. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm revoking his bond and I will not reinstate it until he comes here. I'm done playing this game with him. That's it. You know, we've done this, played this game, and he's playing with our emotions. Quit playing with me, Smokey. Hey.
Here.
Hey. Are you coming to hang out or what?
I'm leaving.
Me too.
I'm done for the day. I'm about to go.
Approach.
Have fun.
Ms.
Come up,
Capatillo.
ma'am. What happened?
Positive.
For what?
THC, no alcohol. Because we don't know the levels, but that's.
How old is she? How old are you?
I'm 19.
That's it. You stay with me. I'm revoking your bond, man.
Make an exception to to tell somebody to bring my grandma, because she doesn't know how to drive and I drove her up here.
Where's your grandmother at?
She's up in Louis Deli. It's like a restaurant from here. I just left her parked there. She doesn't know how to drive.
You just left your grandma in the car?
Yeah, because I needed to get up here. She was my only way to get here.
Is she in that?
Does she have a license to drive? Do you even have a license to drive?
I don't, sir.
So your grandmother drove
It's
you
like
or
one
you drove
thing
her?
after
I
the other.
drove my grandma here.
Why'd you
I
bring
don't
her
have any
here?
transportation, sir. I had to
You
get.
can't drive if you ain't got a license and insurance.
I was trying to provoke this. I was not trying to get arrested, sir.
Everything we asked you to do, you did the exact opposite.
Sir, I was working on it. I just need you to help me with this. I'm just asking you for like one more week and I'll get it together. I haven't been smoking. I'm sorry, that's been there for a minute. I haven't smoked because I know I have.
Yeah, I believe it.
The tests are gonna eventually show something else and you're not gonna believe me.
I don't know what to
I
tell you,
can
Mr.
tell
Slider,
myself-
but I mean, it's like, it's literally, it's one thing after the other with
Hear me
me.
out, sir. Judge, can I speak to you?
You know what? I don't want to talk about the case, and you're really in enough hot water as it is. Because the problem is your grandmother probably doesn't have that many resources as is. So who do you have now that's going to pony up $10,000 to get you out? You stuck like Chuck now for the next couple months in custody. All I asked you to do was be clean and do something productive.
I can.
She goes with you. Oh, hey, Mr. Slider, what was her last name?
Capatillo,
Capatillo, that's right.
Page 6.
page 6.
Not only that, she bond forfeited how many times? I don't know what to do. I really don't.
Try to figure out what our grandmother has to do with. She has.
Because the problem is that like, I can't let her drive home. She don't even get a license and insurance. So even if I let her out, I can't let her drive. Will you do me a favor? Will you ask her if grandmother has the ability to drive?
Drivers, or is there
Right.
someone else that can come here and drive her? I'll find out.
Please.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, can I call her that same
Be
name?
like
Yeah.
you.
You will, you keep living. You'll get that, Judge. You don't even smoke cigarettes.
Oh, hell no.
You'll get there.
Oh, I hope so. You know,
No doubt about it.
at
Anything
one-
don't smoke cigarettes to get there. Well, I think that's right. My son didn't smoke neither, but he did. 2 years old.
I know people who smoke packs of unfiltered cigarettes that live to 90.
Yeah.
That's not much. You know, I wanted to let you know that I'm bringing you out here because I feel really bad. But you've done nothing to help yourself. But smoke weed, you're driving without a license, and you continue to violate conditions of this court. You didn't show up like a week or two ago, you know? So it's one thing after the other. We are trying to do everything in our power to get through to you, to try to better yourself and to get to, we truly want the best for you. But at this point in time, you're your own worst enemy. You're doing nothing for us to also help you out. If I let you go now, that's enabling you, telling you it's okay for you to continue to conduct and act like you're doing. Ms. Capetillo, it is not. Me, if I let you out now, it's enabling you, and I refuse to do that. I want you to understand that we mean business. And this is what happens when you don't follow conditions. We mean business. No catch and release here. Good. We'll see you in a couple days. And I really, truly hope that you now will appreciate this. Okay. I'm not letting you out.
I know you're
But what I
not.
want you to understand is that if I let you out, you will get the understanding that it's okay for you to continue to do what you're doing, and it's not. One more thing. I'm not going to let you plead guilty just to get out. You pleading guilty to a theft case will be the absolute worst thing you can do because you will become unemployable. No one will hire you. You will be unable to get an apartment, a loan for anything, to get a car, a house, apartment. You want funding for financial aid for schooling for this, not with a theft conviction. But I want you to understand that we mean business. And I hope that this is the length that we have to go to. All right? Okay, thank you. Whoa, hold on. I need to decide this. One more thing. The most important thing in this life, do not drive without a license and liability insurance. You will be signing an affidavit with me right now. This is a promise you're making to me not to drive. And if you do, I can have a contempt hearing and you can be facing up to 180 days in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. If you get into a car and you get into an accident and you don't have insurance, you've completely messed with everyone. And I know you don't have money. But if you get into an accident with someone who's got like a BMW Jaguar, or even whatever it may be, they're out a ton of money and it's not fair. All I'm trying to do is what's fair. All right, come on up here. We'll have you swear to this and then we'll let you go.
So I guess you did get to go. I wasn't aware of that. We were too busy in the chat mods on there. Hey, look, when stuff like this happens in the court, making a comment about what she's wearing is never going to get through. So you're only satisfying yourself to put that comment out there and giving the mods something else to do. At the beginning of the trial, I'll back it up real quick. At the beginning of the trial, she's wearing appropriate clothing. After she got arrested and got put in handcuffs, I'm sure the jacket came off, but putting that up there is never going to help anything. It's just going to make things tighter on the chat. So keep those comments to yourself. I get it. It's there, but it's just best to leave that about. Hey, Linus, our moderator, she's also a moderator in Judge Fleischer's courtroom. She's trying to get to Houston. She wants to go visit the judge. She wants to go visit NASA. She wants to come visit the United States. We put a link to a GoFundMe page. If you have an opportunity, stop by it. If you have an opportunity to donate to it. Anything helps. It'd be fun to see her come to the United States and get to see the court. Here's a clip I promised a friend of mine, so I'm going to throw it up here. It's a little 2-minute clip, but it's as funny as it could be. So make sure to listen to the beginning of it.
We sure did.
I can't believe he fell for it.
And he repeated them twice.
How'd you keep a straight face?
Oh, that's a song. That's a song. Oh, all right. That's a song. You got me.
Okay.
Y'all, you told him come back with a lawyer. He's still looking for a job, y'all.
What's the last name?
Lewis.
Lewis.
And y'all, I think the court should be aware. The plaintiff witness's case is his uncle who broke my client's window, and my client retaliated by breaking his window. So I'm pretty sure by the time we come back to court, this case is gonna be gone. Because both of them went to jail the same day. and this is my client's uncle, what's his car windows out, and my client retaliated if I break his windows out.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes, sir.
the only thing I'm asking you to do, don't use drugs or alcohol. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep you. You know what the deal is.
So he still, he was shot 2 years ago and he's still going to physical therapy. He just started walking. He said he looked.
Play stupid games, you get stupid what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you hang with dogs, you get fleas. Your record speaks for itself, Mr. Lewis. I mean, I've already gone over it with you, you know, and all those cases you got, almost all of them, no self-control. That's why everybody's in there now, no self-control. And 9 times out of 10, it's because they're using something. So that's why here, if you're coming here with me, no dope, no alcohol, and I'm gonna test you. And if you're using, I'm gonna keep you. That's it. He got arrested, what is it? 9/13, right? So I'm giving him a month,
Okay.
about 40 days. He's got to be clean. As long as he's clean, I'm a happy man.
Yes, sir.
He's not clean, that's it.
All right.
Better address these demons, because if you don't, I'm gonna do it for you. That's it. So we'll set you off to the 40th day mark. He's got to come back and take a test. If he's clean, we'll let him go with you.
All right. Thank
Okay,
you.
man.
All right.
Alexander Alvis. Page 2.
Vic, who's this?
Page 2, Alexander.
Good morning, Mr. Alexander. So you're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
2024, officers were dispatched to 11-910 Chetman Drive in Harris County, Texas. The complainant, the mother of the defendant, told the officers that her 11-year-old son, the second complainant, was riding his bike down the street when he passed the defendant. Complainant 2 and the defendant know each other. When they passed, the defendant began insulting the son, and the defendant pulled what appeared to be a tan handgun from his waistband and pointed at the second complainant while making remarks about shooting him. After the second complainant told his family about what happened, they went to look for the defendant and confronted him. The defendant reached into his waistband again, but the complainant's family was able to wrestle the gun away, which turned out to be a BB gun. The officers noted that the BB gun appeared to be very similar to a real gun in appearance.
Alexander, are you here with anyone today? Who are you here with? Go grab her, please. Go grab your mom.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Come on up.
Come on up, Mom.
Good morning.
Hi, thank you so much for coming.
No problem.
Did you hear everything that happened?
Some of it, I couldn't hear all of it.
Let's hear it again. Okay, do you mind, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thanks.
On September 23rd, officers were dispatched to 11-910 Chetman Drive in Harris County, Texas. The complainant, the mother of the 13-year-old boy, told the officers that her son was riding down the street riding his bike when the son passed the defendant. The complainant and the defendant know each other, and when they passed, the defendant began insulting the son, and the defendant pulled what appeared to be a tan handgun from his waistband and pointed it at the complainant while making remarks about shooting him. After the complainant told his family about what happened, they went to look for the defendant and confronted him. The defendant reached into the waistband again, but the complainant's family was able to wrestle away the gun, which turned out to be a BB gun. The officers noted the BB gun appeared to be very similar to a real gun in appearance.
Lucky he's not charged with aggravated assault. You know, they could charge you with a very serious offense where you're looking at serious time in prison. You're lucky they didn't, Mr. Alexander. How old are you, sir? You're 18. What do you do with yourself these days? Spit the gum out, man.
You chewing gum?
Your attitude toward me right now, Mr. Alexander, it really, really sucks. You have an air of arrogance on you. Either that or has he been with you all morning?
I'm sorry?
Has he been with you all morning?
Yes, yes.
If I drug test you right now, what's going to show up, Mr. Alexander? What's going to show up? I'm sending him for a drug and alcohol test right now. I'd like to know what, if anything, is in his system. We have to. I don't even know what to say, but all I know,
I mean, you brought me up here, so do I have permission to speak?
absolutely.
Okay, so respectfully, I would submit that these are the alleged charges. There is extenuating circumstances, and the report from the complainant is actually not accurate. That family has actually made verbal and written threats to my son, and we have proof of that. So while I understand that these sound quite egregious, it is not the whole story.
I understand. And I know that there's always two sides to a story. I get it. And you will have the opportunity. But within the first 5 minutes that I've met him, his behavior towards me, his demeanor, the way he looks, just.
That's anxiety. He's standing in a courtroom. He's standing in the courtroom for the first time. And he doesn't have his attorney. He doesn't have an attorney yet. And this is a process that's foreign to him. So what I would, implore from you is don't take his demeanor as disrespect. He is anxious. He's been anxious all morning. He has been with me all morning, and he doesn't really know what to say. So I understand that you're getting a first impression from him, but he is still a very young adult, and this is his first experience in a courtroom.
Right. I agree with you. Mr. Alexander, what you need to understand is that you're 18. You've got this bag of money on your neck, and this life is but a very, very short. Look at me. Look at me. This life is a very short one, and it can be a very happy life, or it can be a rotten, miserable existence of a life. What you do now will dictate the next 40 to 50 years of your life. You work hard now at 18 to 20 to 30 to maybe 40, so that you're not working like a dog when you're 70 to 80, and you can actually have a life and retire. This, by picking up criminal cases at 18, you're moving backwards. How far did you even make it in high school?
He's uncomfortable talking to me, asking me to answer.
I want you to answer. I want to get to know you, Mr. Alexander. I want to know what's. Sorry?
Said 11th grade, Your
He said
Honor.
11th grade.
You need an education, Mr. Alexander. If you're going to do anything in this life, you need an education.
I got my education.
I want to do everything I can to help you out. Okay? I really do. If he's smoking weed, it stops today. Okay? I'm going to drug test him right now because I want to know what, if anything, is in his system. If he tests positive, then I'm going to test him again in 40 days, give or take. The marijuana stops now. And I want him to get back in school. He either needs to be in school full-time or get a full-time job so that he's not running in the streets. Mr. Alexander, I am also making it a condition of your bond that you're not allowed to have any kind of weapons whatsoever for any reason. I can give you a lawyer to try to help you out as much as I can, and I will waive all your fees so you won't be responsible for any cost for anything.
Thank you.
All I want is him to be as productive and as good of a person as he can be. And starting out with criminal cases at 18 and to where he can't even talk to me, we need to change that.
I just make a comment about the bond conditions? as
Sure, of
well?
course.
I've done I called the complainant's mother in this case a few days ago and kind of spoke to her about what happened. And I learned that there is a history between this family and the defendant. Back in the summer, this defendant stole a gun out of the complainant's house. He asked to enter the house under the guise that his mother had kicked him out, went into one of the complainant's uncle's bedrooms and stole a gun. He FaceTimed the complainant's uncle a few days later, flashing the gun, telling them that he was going to come hit up the house while flashing the gun at him. They used to walk to the same bus stop. They used to come out of the same bus stop, the complainant and this defendant. The complainant is terrified of the defendant. We've asked for no contact. We've also asked for GPS monitoring because of that. They don't attend the same school, but they were taking, I guess they were stopping at the same bus stop. Now the complainant asks that his uncle walks into the school bus every day because he is so scared of the defendant. And as I think is mentioned in the PC statement, the complainant in this case is 13 years old.
Was there a police report filed for that incident?
There was. I have the incident number.
For that one you're referring to about the gun?
Yes, where the gun was stolen.
What happened? They didn't follow it up. They didn't call the police. They didn't, theft of a firearm is a very serious felony.
According to the complainant's mother, they filed a report. She provided me with an incident number.
How long ago was this?
This was she said July. It was in July. I can attempt to follow up with the responding agency. I'm not sure if it was the sheriff's office or not, but I mean, either way, there is like a history between these two families. And the complainant and his mother are both in fear of the defendant.
So Mr. Alexander,
I would again submit that this family lives around the corner from us. We have never been approached. He lives at home with me. In July, we actually were in Panama for his 18th birthday. We weren't even home. There was never a time he was kicked out of my house.
were you out in Panama the entire month?
We were out in Panama from July 10th until the beginning of August, yes.
Well,
So,
that's not the entire month.
well, most of the month, excuse me. And in addition to that, no one has come to investigate anything at my house.
Okay, so Mr. Alexander, I'm issuing a protective order over this child, this other kid. You're not allowed to have contact with this person or go within 200 feet of where they live or where they work. Do you understand, sir? You're not allowed to be in possession of weapons. You're not allowed to have any kind of threatening or harassing behavior with this child. If they call back and they say that you have harassed them, then I will revoke the bond and I'm going to put you in jail. And I'm going to tell you now, I will not give you any more PR bonds. So all I'm asking you to do is stay away. No one is finding you guilty now. We're just asking that you guys separate and don't have any contact. That's it. I am going to put an ankle monitor so I know that you're not going anywhere near their house. But like I said, I'll cover the cost of anything, so it won't cost you guys anything. You must charge this thing on a daily basis, Mr. Alexander. If you don't charge it, the battery goes dead, then we will file a motion to revoke. Not a motion to revoke, but I'll revoke the bond. So as it stands now, what we'll do is I will send you now for a drug test. We're going to have you come back. I want to know what, if anything, is in it. And then I will provide you between now and then a lawyer, and we'll go from there. Do you have any other questions?
That family is in possession of my bicycle, not his, it's mine. They actually stole that from him. I would like my bike back.
There's proper channels to do it. I don't know how, but as it stands now, he can't go over there, can't have any contact with them
That's fine.
whatsoever. And I would venture to guess that if you go over there as well, it's probably gonna be even more bad blood. So
No, I don't have any.
perhaps you can find someone else, like another intermediary, that can go over there and try to get a bike back. But at this point, just don't have any contact with them. And when you come back, then we'll have you speak to someone. Okay? All right. I'm gonna have you sign go ahead.
Want to do it today?
Correct. Yes. Mr. Alexander, I want you to either get a job or get into school full time. But when you have too much time on your hands, you become self-destructive. Your brain craves activity. It needs activity. And when you don't challenge yourself with either school or a job or anything, then bad things are just gonna come and happen. You have to occupy your life. You have to do something. This, where we're headed now, you're going the opposite way of how you should be doing things. This is not a good way to start at 18. All right, please. Can you file a protective order, please, on the child? Thanks. Okay, Mr.
I'm here, Mr. Alexander.
Come up, Mr. Alexander. Mom, come on up. Let me tell you something at the outset, Mr. Alexander. Everything that I want for you, I want the best for you, okay? At times, the conditions that I place on you, you may not like it, and that I'm okay with that. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do the best thing for you, and what I think and I hope it is the best thing to achieve our goal, which is to make you a person that's an upstanding young man that's headed toward greatness. So he tested positive for what? Just marijuana? Okay, no more. You will be tested 40 days from today. If you continue to smoke marijuana, I'm going to revoke your bond. I will put you in jail. Do you understand? Yes or no? Okay, I want you to understand that you are also not allowed to use anything that has THC in it. No oils, gummies, vape pens. What else is there? I don't, CBD, nothing you're not allowed to use. Do you understand? Okay, Mom, what else should we do? School, work, what should we do? What do you think would be the best?
I encourage therapy all the time. I think the therapy.
Say it again?
Therapy, I think therapy is beneficial for therapists.
Okay, I can make that a condition of his bond, that if he doesn't go to the therapist, then he can stay with us as well. You have to do your therapy as well. Mr. Alexander, what happens if you don't do your therapy? I want you to understand this one more thing. I want you to be nice to your mom. The conditions that I place on you now has nothing to do with your mother. If your mother tells me that you're disrespecting her or not being nice or not following her rules, you will stay with me. Do you understand, sir?
That's not an issue at all. My son, he is respectful to me.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah.
Do you think that we need to put a curfew on him?
I don't think he needs a curfew. I think he's good.
Okay. I want to do whatever you think is right. So if you need anything else in the future, if you want anything else, all you have to do is let Mr. Elick know, and then we can help you out with whatever. What about school or work now?
The educational treatment center.
Okay.
He's on probation. He has a relationship with them.
Wait. Is he on probation now?
No, he's not on probation.
Okay.
He was in the GD program there.
Great.
He has a relationship with them.
Okay.
And so, the hardship is transportation. He was doing Z-Trip before for pickup and drop off. If we can make arrangements for him to participate in that program, he did exceptionally well there. They have familiarity with him and a relationship with him. Despite the charges, like I said, there's great extenuating circumstances, but he is quite intelligent. And he, there's a lot more to this story and his story than is shown in, the affidavit that is being presented to you. But AJ, I call him AJ Alvis, he has a lot going for him more than this statement shows. So if he has the right circumstances, I think that he'll do.
Mr. Alexander, why do you always look so upset? Sorry? When you smile, And when you're nice to people, it goes a long way. It really, really does. When you meet with these people, they have your life in their hands. And if you go up there and you act aggressive or passive aggressive, you know, you're not going to get what you want. But if you go in there, if you're nice, you crack a joke and make them smile and make them laugh, you can have them eating out of your hands. I feel like I'm talking to him, just not getting anything.
No, I think he gives you, I think that they're, like I said, the component of anxiety and depression.
Is he taking any medication?
He's not. Other than for he has physical conditions that he takes medication for.
Has he been diagnosed to take anything? Or no?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Has he been diagnosed or
With
anything?
depression?
Any, I guess anything.
Yes.
Okay.
He's also had 49 surgeries.
For what?
He has a rare incurable condition. There's a lot more to the story than you know.
No. I will help you as much as I can. I really do. And anything you need, you know, he works with the managers assigned council, so they have resources. All you have to do is ask and we can give you whatever we have, we're prepared to give to you. And
We
like
can
I
start
said,
with making sure that he has transportation to get to the GED program.
we can look into that certainly. Yeah.
From my home, that would definitely benefit. He has a desire, he just needs the path, and he needs to mitigate the depression.
You have to want it as well. AJ. If you don't want it, you'll end up nowhere, man. Okay. So we'll just reset your case now. We'll set you out 40 days. We'll have him come back to the next setting. He's gonna test. I hope he tests negative and we'll go from there. Anything in between, just let me know whatever you need. Mr. AJ, don't pick up any new cases and don't be talking to the 13-year-old. That's all I'm asking you to do. No contact. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Take care.
I'll change numbers with you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks, Machine.
Well, that case kept the chat going in Judge Fleischer's court, and it kind of kept my blood boiling. I really don't know how I feel about Mom. I'm certainly considering her an enabler. I'm wondering just how much is she, you know, how much is she overwhelmed? How much is she just, you know, if she feels that he's a good boy, you know, she can turn her eyes from this, that, and the other. There's the marijuana issue that always needs to be addressed. You know, there's a big debate in our country about if it's the devil or if it's, you know, the best thing ever. I'm not going to have that debate with y'all tonight. I'm sure most of y'all know how I feel about that already, but it certainly didn't help this kid out, and he's going to be a mess. You know, you got to think a kid like that who's doing the drugs now, all of a sudden today he has to stop and he has to behave and he has to do all this other. It just adds on and on and on, and it's going to be difficult with a mom like that for him to be successful. The best he can hope for is a real quick trial and to get it over. But it seems there's a consensus he'll be back. She's an enabler. Mom needs to be out of the picture. He's 18 now. I certainly believe that, you know, when Judge Fleischer brings up most of these parents, it's really good. I think it helps. I don't think it helped with this one. I think what would help him is to have to stand on his own once or twice. You know, have to stand up and grow up some. I know that certainly happened with me quite a few times. So let's run over to another one. We got a couple more going. Let's go to no evidence.
I was hoping that you guys could, at the minimum, get together and talk about all the evidence that's out there and see what you guys want to do. Alex, what have you guys offered on this case? Have you offered?
210 days.
Okay.
He has 97 days credit, so he has time served.
Have credit if you wanted to do that. They've offered you time served in this case. How old is this case? It's not too old, so if you need more time, I'm happy to give you more time.
More time for what?
Discovery. To see, is discovery complete?
Yes, Your Honor.
Everything's in?
Everything's uploaded and shared, Your Honor.
Okay, all the discovery's in. So basically, the only thing that needs to happen is you guys get together. You look at all the discovery and make a decision of what you'd like to do, whether you want to accept a plea bargain or we set the case for trial.
I don't want to accept the plea bargain.
I'm sorry?
I don't want to accept the plea bargain.
Okay. Have you seen the evidence though?
I know.
I think that that's a really big thing you should do. I mean, really, it's, if you've not seen what they have, that's one of the first things you need to do to see what you're facing, right? I don't know what evidence is out there. I don't know anything about your case.
I don't have any evidence.
Well, how do you know?
Okay.
Right? I don't know. I mean, what do you have, Alex? What evidence is there in this case?
We have body cam, we have dash cam, and then we also have 911 calls. And there's more also on WatchGuard that's been shared to the defense as well.
There's body cam, a 911, dash cam. I would,
Well, I'm not giving you of it.
but you've not seen it,
Okay.
right?
No, I haven't seen
Will you at least take a look?
it. Sure.
Okay. Do you guys have it here so that we can watch? By chance?
I don't have a laptop with me, Your Honor. I have my cell phone, and there's connectivity issues in this building. It may or may not ever actually work, watching a video inside this building. At the office, not a problem. Here,
Would you mind going to their office to watch it?
Okay.
Okay.
Do whatever you want to do.
Well, at the very minimum, all I'm asking you to do is look at the evidence that's out there. That's all. I mean, it's one of the basic tenets that when you pick up a criminal case, you got to know what you're facing. You got to know what evidence is out there before you make a decision whether you want to go to trial or whether you don't. That's really one of the most basic things. So when would be a good time for you to go to their office? You tell me.
Remember that, ready?
Okay.
today, in an hour.
Are you okay today?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so let's do this. We'll set your case off a week. What time's good for you, Mr. Marcus? Right now, it's what, 9:45? You're here already now. Let's go do it now.
Well,
Or
I'll be in office from 1 o'clock.
is that okay? 1 o'clock?
Sure.
Okay, done. So you guys meet, please, you have everything, right?
Yes.
Okay, just take a look, Mr. Marcus, and then when we come back, you let me know. If you still want to go to trial, I'm more than happy to accommodate. We'll do that. Okay? Wonderful. Okay, guys, good luck. Thank you. Hey, Mr. Marcus, Mr. Goins.
Yes.
One more thing.
Sir. Yes.
I know that you're chomping at the bit for a trial. I know you are. You got to have patience with each other, right? Please, when you go there, have patience. You know, because if you start going in there butting heads with everyone, or if you go in there butting heads with everyone, it's not going to be a very productive meeting. All you have to do is just, both of you guys, go through every piece of evidence, look at what's out there, but be patient, please. Okay?
Yeah, I'll be very patient and professional. Thank you.
Really, okay?
Okay, I'm making an effort, Your Honor.
Please. All right. I was hoping that you guys could, at the minimum, get together and talk about all the evidence that's out there and see what you guys want to do. Alex, what have you guys offered on this case? Have you offered?
210 days.
Okay.
He has 97 days credit, so he has time, sir.
Have credit if you wanted to do that. They've offered you time served in this case. How old is this case? It's not too old, so if you need more time, I'm happy to give you more time. Hey, ready?
I have off docket, this is one we talked about before, Mr. Robert Turner, Judge, I can give you a case number. 252-4265.
Come up, Mr. Turner.
Judge, this is one you had ordered, I believe because there's an allegation of an open container in the vehicle. There's no accident, no other DWIs. The BAC, I think, was a voluntary breath test with a 0.12. But my understanding is that the open container, you had ordered no driving.
Correct.
And when I spoke with you after I got retained on the case, you had indicated that you wanted to feel like the pain of losing that privilege of his license. And so I told you last week that he's been making many arrangements to get to and from work, to run household errands. He doesn't live with his mother. His mother lives in a separate residence at the same address, so he can kind of take care of her. She's elderly. So she's been now doing most of the driving for her errands, and he's been riding with her. We have some pictures that he's taken of that. He lives 15 miles from where he works. And a lot of the days, if he couldn't get a ride from a coworker, he rode his bike. And he also, if the court recalls, found out through this case that he has hypertension and diabetes. So,
So then the bike riding is good for you. You need to exercise anyways.
And so we have photographs of him on his bike and things like that I asked him to take. He also attended and took the victim impact panel for DWIs, so we can kind of understand bigger picture things the court has concerns about. He has not driven. He has followed your bond conditions to a T. His employer knows about the DWI case.
What does he do for a living, Justin?
He works in the shipyards. I'm gonna.
Oh, wonderful. Now, is there gonna be a strike?
That's gonna hurt.
And it's gonna hurt him, but they're not the strikers. But the one of the things that he does, he has a route that he drives with a company truck that's kind of around the east end of downtown to a bunch of suppliers. He picks up various supplies throughout the day and just does this circular route back to the port, drops off what he picks up. It's materials from repairs that are needed on the ships that the company is working on. The company has shifted him to warehouse work the last 6 weeks or so since the case and the bond conditions included no driving. They are anxious to get him back to what he does for them. He usually gets to work around 6 a.m. He spends the first couple hours doing dispatch and organizing the routes for himself and the other drivers before his supervisor arrives at 8. The supervisor takes over dispatch. He does his route until about 3 o'clock. We've talked about your concerns expressed last week that you're not going to have him driving late at night. The earliest he would ever need to leave is about 5:30 in the morning. Most of the days he's done driving by about 6 or 7. That's if he has to run any errands after work and run his mom around, pick up dinner or anything like that. So I've told him that you said no late night driving is, I don't like to sleep, but I have to get up early for work. So we were thinking if the court's okay with maybe between 10 and 5, no driving. And we're fine with that. So we just asked that he be allowed to drive the work truck and his personal truck for.
Mr. Turner, you know that I don't know how much of this country, it's absolutely nutty how so many people in this country think that it's a right to drive. It's not, you have the right to travel with those two things on down there, your feet. You can take your happy ass on your feet, travel, drive, go wherever you want. Driving is a privilege. And it's here in Harris County. If you look on the news, every day someone dies because of an alcohol-related collision. Whatever. Yesterday, a judge upstairs died because he was a friend of mine. Every single day, it is a privilege. It's not a right. And I see more and more people now in the car with alcohol while they're actually driving. And it's just insane to think that when someone gets in a car, they would think that this behavior is okay, when it absolutely is just, it's elementary that or I would assume and hope that it's common knowledge that if you're going to get into a car and drive, you don't do it while you're consuming alcohol. And what I wanted to impart to you is how great that privilege is, because like everything in life, you don't realize it until it's gone, right? And when you don't have that privilege, that's when you really appreciate it. And that's what I want here. And so because of the magnitude of the people I see, Justin, I mean, in this past week, I probably had at least 10 people with alcohol as they're driving. One person had like, I think damn near a case. And you know, and how old are you, sir?
49.
You're 49 years old. If it,
There's, the evidence isn't all in on this case. I think when it comes in, we're gonna see that there was something else going on here than maybe some of the other cases that you're mentioning.
no, but I'm just, all I want to do is I want you to understand that it's a privilege, right? Privileges can be taken, they can be reinstated. And all I want you to do is understand and appreciate it. And as long as you do, then I'm happy. You should never in the car while you're, I mean, it's a humongous no-no. I mean, just,
He knows.
and I would hope that you get that. Does he have an interlock on his car now?
There hasn't been any condition as far as that goes, no judge.
I'll reinstate the driving privileges, but he's got to have an interlock so I know that he doesn't have alcohol while he's driving. You know, I'll waive the fee, of course, but if you're going to drive, you need an interlock so I know that you're not consuming alcohol, right? I mean,
And he can still drive a work vehicle without one?
I don't know.
The company's aware of this. I talked to you about that before, Judge. They can't put one.
I
in the
understand, but I mean, he's got alcohol while he's driving. I want to make sure that he's not going to do the same thing again. You know, I have a lot of people that come back and they tell me they're not going to do things and they still do.
Sure. Well, and we talked about the court can require equipment in a personal vehicle. We were hoping that the court would not require one for the work vehicle because the employers told him he can't.
Do you have a scram now?
Doesn't have a scram.
Okay, so we'll do this. I'll put one on his personal vehicle and I'll have a scram on him so I know that he's not consuming and I won't require one for the work. So that way I know he doesn't have alcohol at all at any time.
And if he demonstrates to the court after a period of time that he's not doing that, would you consider removing some of those devices from him?
I'm always open to devices. But at this point, I
Because this is
mean,
no accident. He's under 0.15. There's not really any criminal history whatsoever. There's a robbery that is, if we look into it, it was the wrong guy. It was a complete misunderstanding. That's why there's straight dismissals. There's no pretrial intervention. There's no plea to something else. They just wrong guy 20 years ago.
yeah, I mean, I want to know that I can trust him to make right decisions. He's only been on bond for, you know, a month and a half. I'm not asking you to split the atom here, but you have alcohol while you're in the car driving. If you want me to allow you to drive, I need to be reassured that you're not going to have alcohol on board, right? And I do that with these devices. I'm even willing to pay for them for you. That's paying probably $750 a month that I'm taking the fee for you.
But that will allow him to drive the work truck.
Correct, with the scram, so I know that because he's not blowing in anything in the work truck.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you now, if I find that you're consuming alcohol, and I don't care what the source is, I'm not gonna entertain it's mouthwash, it's a tequila lollipop, it's hair dye. You test positive for whatever it may be. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you in jail. And the next thing I'm gonna do is your driving privileges are that's it. Do you understand?
Yes. You'd have to find that he was actually consuming alcohol and not that it was like hair dye. You were not telling him you can revoke his bond if he gets his hair dyed and that.
I had someone test positive for alcohol and they came in here and they told me it was hair dye as to why they tested positive for
You didn't
alcohol.
believe that, right? But I
Of
mean, you
course.
have to find.
But I'm telling you, just if the thing goes hot, then you understand that, right? Don't drink before you put anything into your body. Know what it is. If you get an energy drink, some of those energy drinks have alcohol in it. I would look. Don't take Listerine. Don't use anything that has alcohol. That's all I'm asking. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Let's get with pretrial. We're good to go.
Yeah, remember, so no late night driving and then, okay?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Done.
Judge, did you need the interlock order?
All right, we've got to do another plug for getting Lena's to the United States. There's a link at the top. Get Lena's to the United States. She wants to come visit Houston. She's probably the only one who wants to come visit Houston, but she wants to get here and visit it. She wants to go see NASA. She wants to go see this courtroom. Help our friend from the Netherlands come to the United States. Come see it. Links in the description. Chrysalis, I don't know how to pronounce that name, but you have some interesting thoughts there. Get a hold of me, get a hold of Jay, or do whatever you need to do if you're interested in pushing on that. We're going to, Jinjo, wait, some energy drinks have alcohol in them. I thought Four Locos had like Red Bull. I thought they had caffeine in them, but I'm not sure about it. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm kind of a wimp that way, so I don't know, but there's definitely some that do, and I know there's all kinds of stuff that set it off. The courtrooms are fun with people saying they went and had their hair dyed and got alcohol on there, but it's certainly not from that. We're going to jump over to Thurston County. They had some cool PPO hearings yesterday, so here we go with that.
And then Mr. Murphy, you should come up and take that seat there. Give Ms. Thalhammer a chance to get situated there.
Can she come up with me, because it's also pertaining.
Yeah, no, if you want to call her as a witness, you can, but right now she's going to stay there. I just want named parties up at the table. Before we start, it is working now. Hang on just a minute. My computer is back online. I'm going to do one other thing here before we start. As I said before, these are anti-harassment petitions. I believe all of these are. Harassment is defined as a knowing and willful course of conduct directed at a specific person that seriously alarms, annoys, harasses, or is detrimental to such person that serves no legitimate or lawful purpose. Course of conduct must be such as would cause a reasonable person to suffer substantial emotional distress and must actually cause substantial emotional distress to the petitioner. Course of conduct is defined by a pattern of conduct composed of a series of acts over a period of time, however short, evidencing continuity of purpose. Course of conduct includes any form of communication, contact, or conduct, including the sending of electronic communication, but does not include constitutionally protected free speech. And so with that, who's going to speak for the Thalhammers? You can stay seated. And what's your name, sir?
Scott Thalhammer.
Could you raise your right hand, please? You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. How is it you need an order against Mr. Murphy?
Sir, I'd like to present the statement. We have engaged with counsel and want our case to proceed with representation. Our attorney is not available to present our case today because he has another case at exactly this time. And he will need more time.
Who's your attorney?
Our attorney is Justin Huxford with Bud Bay Law.
That's okay. Has he submitted a notice of appearance?
I am not sure, Your Honor.
When did you engage him? I am. He has not. When did you engage him?
I have a Your Honor, would you like to see this letter?
No, I'm asking you, I'd like you to answer my question.
Yes, sir. We do have an engagement letter here in my hand dated September 25, 2024.
All right. Did he say when he would be available?
Yes, sir. He said, can I read the rest of the statement that he wrote for us?
Well,
it has the dates in here.
Okay.
He said
So,
here,
no, I don't want you to read that.
okay, it's, he
Okay,
said he will
okay, I'm
be,
gonna ask you, is he available 2 weeks from today on the 14th?
sir, he said he's only available on October 14 or October 28.
That's 2 weeks from today.
Uh,
So hang on just a second. Mr. Murphy?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
No.
And so you've heard what they said, which I didn't know till now. Generally, I do allow that when attorneys come in, they'll wanna reset it. So I would be inclined just to reset this for 2 weeks, and then we can reconvene on the 14th and figure out. There's not an order in place. And so we're not, there again, I'd remind everyone, there's no order in place here right now. And so that would be inclined to do here for today. You can appear by Zoom at the next hearing, if that's more convenient, but it's up to you. You have it, and I'd understand, probably you want to get this resolved here today. And, but Jen, it's just my general practice to allow one continuance of this sort.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Well,
I'm just speaking for my household, me and my husband.
Right.
Prior to, starting this hearing, I actually approached Mr. Murray. I just don't want this to linger on as much as he would like it to linger on.
So hang on just a minute. So just a minute. So hang on, let me finish. Let me speak here for a minute. Okay. So you're the petitioner. You folks are
Both
the,
of us,
yes,
yes, sir.
okay, right. And so you're the ones asking for the order. So let me finish, please, man. Just please don't cut me off. And so now I hear from Mr. Thalhammer, we want to set this over. So, and you have an attorney, and when you have an attorney, it's not a great idea to be speaking to the other side. I'm just going to say that. So from where I sit, it looks like you are the folks who are asking to have this linger on to another hearing. So, I mean, I guess I'm kind of which is a long way of saying, I'm getting kind of conflicting messages between you two. He's saying, let's set this over. You're saying, I don't want this to linger on. So.
If I can say something.
I can say that she's a local medical doctor.
Okay, so hang on just a second. So she's talking and I'll hear from here. And I think if she's a medical doctor, I'm quite confident that she can speak for herself.
I just would like to say that the reason why I approach him is I was hoping that we can just settle this instead of being in the court. This morning I approached him and I asked him, I introduced myself, and I just wanted to extend basically if we can just agree, if he can agree not to, drive or use the loud, explosive noise that will wake me and my husband up.
So
and he mentioned to me that, you should not be talking.
I'm going to stop you. And again, he's right. You probably shouldn't, given the emotions involved. And the second thing is now he's even more right that once you have an attorney, I don't think your attorney wants him talking to you either. And so, yes, if you can work this out, if you're, then that's fine. But he shouldn't be talking to you right now. If you have, and I'm told now you have an attorney. That's the last thing I would think that you, and I'm pretty sure your attorney doesn't want you talking to him either once you're retained. Go ahead, ma'am.
I was hoping that he will agree with that. I would not have the lawyer get involved here.
Okay.
That was my whole intent.
Okay.
Because if we can settle that, because I can
So,
understand.
ma'am, hang on just a second. I can't do anything without your attorney being here. Can't do it. Once you have an attorney, then the attorney speaks for you, and you can't. And
I just would like you to understand that, my whole intent when I spoke with him is to hopefully that he will agree and that I will just drop
to this letter out of court.
Out of court settlement, that if he agrees that I will just drop this.
Then you need, you know what, now that, but that can still happen. But now that you have an attorney, that needs to go through the attorney and that's the rules of the game there.
The record, can this letter be entered?
For what purpose? It's an offer of settlement really isn't, if that's what that is, that's not really germane to the issue.
That was
And
just-
an offers of settlement really is something a deciding judge can't really consider. Look, you have an attorney now. What you need to do is speak to your attorney and then get some counsel from him. And that's where we're at. And Mr. Murphy, I will tell you, chances are that their attorney may reach out to you, and you can speak to them if you want to, or you don't have to if you don't want to. And so that's where we're at. We'll give you a notice. We'll give you both a notice of hearings here for the 14th, and then we'll be back here at that time.
I have another question, Your Honor.
Sure.
So when I was talking with him, he mentioned that.
Who's him?
Mr. Murray here.
Okay.
He mentioned that you don't know what's going to happen after this hearing. It is not a threat, but to me, I just want have peace in our community.
Right.
And I have not been sleeping well for days when his truck really wakes me up.
It's a car,
in the middle.
Camaro.
It's a loud, it's like an explosive. It will wake me up in the middle of the night. But the point that I'm making here is, now that we're going to move this hearing 2 weeks from today,
Right.
what am I about to experience? Am I going to be harassed with loud noises, not giving me peace and sleep that I need?
Okay. So, ma'am, I can't predict the future. And I think I said at the temporary hearing, I had some reservations about this at the beginning. And so I don't know what's going to happen, other than we're going to reset it for 2 weeks, and then we'll reconvene then and figure out where we go from here. But that's what's going to happen. So you can get notice, one of the Thalhammers, Mr. Thalhammer, you can come up and grab that, and then you're free to go. Mr. Murphy, why don't you come on up and get this, and then you could probably be a great idea for folks to leave separately. You can take that, and then Mr. Murphy and you, ma'am, could go ahead and leave, and then you're all free to leave also.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. So Ms. Pope, why don't you come on the Zoom call, and Ms. Wren can come on the cell phone. This is a holdover from last week. Ms. Wren, you need to unmute your phone, please. Ms. Wren, you there? Oh, did we lose Tamaya Santos?
She was trying to get phone.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to that in a minute. So Ms. Pope and Mr. Garner are both here. Who's going to speak first?
You want me to? Okay. I'll start.
Okay, could you raise your right hand, please? Swear information testimony you provide will be the truth and nothing but the truth. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Mr.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah,
Garner,
sorry.
did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
Do you swear and affirm the information? Okay, did you say yes when I asked you if
I did. Sorry.
All right, I missed it. They keep telling me technology's supposed to make my life better. So go ahead. I'll hear from you. How is it you need an order against, hang on, just, give me just a minute here. I need to call up the right case. And so I guess I start. This is basically a next door neighbor, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Go ahead, I'll hear from you.
Yeah, so we moved into this apartment in October last year, around Christmas, late December. We started having issues. It started with me and my son were playing outside in the backyard, and I had walked onto the porch just outside of Miss Wren's vision, and probably a few seconds later, I started hearing little boy, Miss Wren calling out Emery to just asking him to come over. And I promptly brought my son inside, and that was about that, but, you know, left us very uncomfortable. You shouldn't be calling over a little kid. And so since that point, we had several occasions where she would come over to the fence and try to talk to our son when he was out there, talk to our dog. And then I know Isabel had talked to her a few times and asked her to leave us alone, stop calling over the dog, stop calling over our son. And we got a knock on the door. I'm not sure exactly when, but it was from Animal Services saying that our dog was being neglected. Yes. And so they came in, they checked everything, saw that it was unfounded. They said that if it happens again, that they'll just ignore it and go from there. And I think after that, then we saw Miss Wren at the fence again saying, oh, I understand she's a guard dog. It's not even that. It's just the dog doesn't like the small apartment. She wants to be outside. And then we also will hear, I know that I heard it one night, just her yelling to take her dog inside. And it was like 8 or so. And mind you, we take her dog every night before bed. And so it shouldn't be yelling through our windows. And then we also got a knock at the door. I know that I was at work during that time, but do you want to speak on that?
May I share this? Because this was kind of pertaining to me, but I haven't been sworn
Could
in.
you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Go ahead, ma'am.
So I was cooking dinner, and it was just my son and I in the apartment, and the windows were open, the back door was open, dog was outside, of course, and my son misbehaved. I can't remember exactly what he did, so I put him on timeout. What we do is put him on timeout for the amount of minutes as his age. So I put him on timeout for 3 minutes, and of course he's 3, so he's crying. And 3 minutes is up, I take him off timeout, and I begin talking to him and explaining to him why he's on timeout. And I hear a voice, and I think maybe the TV's on. So I kind of go around and check the area, see if maybe I left something on. And I saw Miss Wren standing at our fence on the phone talking, and I peek out the door and I say, please get away from the fence. And she said, I'm on the phone with the police. You're neglecting your child. He's been crying for his mommy, and you're not responding to that. And at this point, I'm just frustrated. And you can hear me on her phone with the police call saying, get away from my property, get away from my fence, leave me alone. And I'm so frazzled at this point. I call the police and I ask them to come out, because saying I'm neglecting my kid, that's a serious accusation. And the police come out and they come in and look at my son. I explained the situation and they said that there seems to be no sign of neglect. It's just a 3-year-old crying. And I told the police what was going on, that we've just had problems after problems. And at this point, I feel like I'm being harassed. And the police officer said if I felt the need to, I could go file a protection order. So the next day or the day after, I believe I went to the court to file a protection order.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
Anything further there, Mr. Garner?
Yeah, so we after she was served the first time, it is the first time that we've done any sort of order or any sort of court anything. So we it took us 3 times to figure it out. And so we served her the first time, but it was late. The second time, we thought that the first order was fine and so on and so forth. But between those instances, our son was at home with our babysitter, Isabel's cousin. And while she was out there playing with our son Emery, he got scared by a spider and he yelled. And Kathleen started trying to speak to him again. And it's just after the order was already put in. And I know that there's not a temporary thing, but it's just after we've asked, after she's aware that there's still a court case and she's still trying to reach out to our son.
Yeah, we just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
And I just don't, want to worry about my son in the backyard called over, like my dog being called over. I just want to be left alone.
All right. Let me hear from Ms. Wren. Ms. Wren, you on the Zoom call?
No, I'm not on Zoom. I'm on the telephone.
You're on the telephone. You're on the cell phone. All right.
Yeah.
So can you raise your right hand?
Yes.
You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
So what say you to all of this?
Okay. So first of all, I've never seen Zachary Garner, it says here. I've never seen him in my life. I've seen and spoke with Isabella Pope twice ever, and it was not up to the fence other than the 911 call that I had to make on the day. I don't even have the exact date on that day when that occurred. I know it's been at least about a month and a half ago. So I'll just start. So about a month and a half ago, I had heard a child screaming and yelling, and this did not go on for 3 minutes like they said. It went on for several minutes, maybe 7, 8 minutes. But to the extreme, it just sounded like, and I am a mom too, I have 2 boys. It sounded like the child was in hurting, like something had happened. I wasn't in fear that the mother was neglecting or hurting her child in any way. I just thought, this isn't right. There's something not right about this. So I personally cannot physically walk very far. So I decided to make a 911 call. And so when I was trying to talk with them, I was trying to get over there as best I could with my walker and let her know I was on the phone. Is everything okay with her? And she said, get on. I was on the phone with 911. She said, get off my property. I said, ma'am, I'm not on your property. And 911 call can verify that. I said, I am not on your property. I'm on the other side of the fence, which there's like 5 fences that link their property across from mine. I'm about 40 feet behind them. So anyways, I was on the phone and she's yelling and screaming. And so 911 operator got a police officer on the phone with me and said that they couldn't get any officer over to me at that time. So she said, but what you could do is call CPS. You could, there's other things you could do. And I said, no, I don't feel like it's that. I did not feel she was neglecting her child in any way. And I just said, I just feel like maybe the child's hurt or the mom couldn't get to him, something's going on. So, so that's what happened with that. Then all of a sudden a police officer starts walking towards me. So I'm, he said, yes, he goes, I heard that you had called. And I said, yes. And I explained what was going on about the child. I didn't make any accusations whatsoever about the mother neglecting this child or father or whoever. I don't even know this guy. I've never even seen him in my life ever. And so the next part is him. Oh, this testimony, Your Honor, is unbelievable. I literally can't walk. I have no knees. I have scoliosis, spinal stenosis, degenerative disc disease, no knees. I can barely get around. I have 2 caregivers that have to come in and take care of me. I have, which had showed up to court on that day, and I was supposed to come there. I couldn't drive or make it. And she's there for like medical court if I had it, which I have not been to court in a lot of years since my divorce. And this testimony I'm blown away. I am blown away. The one thing especially when somebody.
Hang on just a second. I'm gonna stop you here. Can you stop for a second?
Sure.
So I guess I'm not too sure why you're blown away. I think you said you're a parent, and
yes.
Don't you think that it would be fairly? I mean, and I'm one too, and
yeah.
Kids are going to cry sometimes. Kids are going to scream sometimes. Sure. It happens to everyone. Sure. And do you see how that might be upsetting for some kid who's a 3-year-old who I don't know any of you folks, but I've seen 3-year-olds throw tantrums before. Sometimes they go on longer than 3 minutes. And do you see how that might be upsetting to a parent who's having to deal with that tantrum, at the same time have the cops show up and say, hey, what are you doing to your kid? So, I mean, I guess I'm a little bit surprised that you're finding that this is so unbelievable. I think that'd be upsetting to any parent, wouldn't it?
No, I'm not. That's not what's unbelievable. The unbelievable part are the accusations of me when she's saying on page 11 of 13, she's saying that I am afraid she will try to take my son or my dog because she continues to harass me. That is a huge accusation. I mean, Your Honor, I physically could not get over the fence for one thing. I could barely walk over in that yard because of all the potholes. I have empathy for her. I absolutely get it. I think this
so hang on just a second. Just a second. I'm going to stop you again because the other thing is, this dog, apparently you made a complaint to animal services of some sort, which I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about this dog. All dogs have different habits of that sort. I mean, do you see how that would be? I was a dog owner. I'm not a dog owner anymore, unfortunately. But I mean, I think that would be fairly upsetting if animal services showed up in my front door saying, hey, what are you doing to your dog? Do you see how that would be upsetting?
Sure. But I did not call animal services. Please ask them where the proof is, because there's no proof of this. This is all false information, Your Honor. That's why I'm upset. I literally am struck. You know what I worry about? I have a son that just went into Coast Guard and got in a over 100 miles an hour bike accident and spent 2 months in the hospital. You know what? Those are the things I worry about. I know having a child, how important it is to keep them safe. I do, Miss Isabel. I understand that. That's your child, your pride, your everything. And I would be protective too. But I literally, I just want to resolve this. I do not mean you guys any harm. I have not been up to your fence coercing your child to come to the fence in any way. And I don't know your dog, so I'm not going to go approach a dog if it's going to attack me. I'm not. I have so many medical issues, Your Honor. I just literally, I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. But I understand. So I know, you're the judge, you're gonna make the decision, but literally, I'm not gonna go out in my backyard. That's where I spend my kind of zen time, my little garden area, and I'm not gonna look straight forward every single day of my life. It's ridiculous. I'm not gonna harm their children or their
Okay.
dog.
But
I just
I
want
think
peace.
they want you just to leave them alone. Don't call out to the child.
I
Don't
will.
just let them run their own dog the way they want to.
Absolutely. You're right.
That makes sense?
No, it makes sense. Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to come back to Ms. Pope and Mr. Garner. How long have you folks lived there?
About a year.
Yeah, we're coming up on a year.
Okay. And then she was there when you moved in?
Yes.
Correct.
How did you get along before all this started?
Spoke to her before this.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
We never spoke to her before this.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
So here's what's going to happen here today. Go ahead. Do you want to say something, Ms. Pope?
Oh, I was just saying the only occasion that I spoke to her was what I relayed to you when she's at the fence. I told her the dog's fine. Can you just leave us alone? But there was no other. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. So here's where we're at today there, Ms. Wren, Ms. Pope, Mr. Garner. I read the definition of anti-harassment or what harassment is and things of that sort earlier. Typically harassment is, well, in the more traditional sense, if two parties are in a relationship, one breaks up, the other person won't leave the other person alone, calling, texting at all hours of the night, or make some threats to harm, or, I'm going to come over there and beat you. We see this a lot in neighborhood situations. Unfortunately, I'm going to come over there and beat you up, or, throw rocks through your windows or something like that. This is somewhat of an unusual case in that, I can't do, constitutionally protected free speech. People can call police. I can't stop them from doing that. I can't stop them from calling. And I don't know whether they called CPS or animal control or not. I can't stop anyone from doing that. But, one thing that I can do is if you're bothering a neighbor more than what they're asking for, then I can do an order to stop that. So Ms. Wren, I've heard I think you have some clear understanding of what Ms. Pope and Mr. Garner expect from their next door neighbor. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
All right.
And
So I'm going to deny the
as well.
request for an order. Listen to me. I'm not going to enter an order here today, but I'll tell everybody, if something reoccurs, what sort of contact they want from you, Ms. Wren, and that's none. If they get additional
Right.
contact or some other things happen, then they can refile and bring back, and next time they'll get the order. Do you understand that?
Okay. Yes.
All right. And that's what'll happen here today. So I'm going to deny an order's not going to be entered, but like I say, everybody should be on the same page as what they expect from each other. And then,
I do.
like I say, if
Yeah.
something else happens there, Ms. Wren, we'll be back here, which no one wants. I mean, they don't want Ms. Pope and Mr. Gardner. They don't want to have to mess around with this. And I don't think you do either. So that'll be it for today.
Thank you.
You're free to leave the Zoom call.
I apologize.
Hang on just a second.
I apologize.
Ms. Wren, you need to stop. Mr. Gardner, you
Oh,
wanted to say
okay.
something?
Oh, I was just saying thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Wren, did you want to say anything?
No, I just want peace with my neighbors. I apologize for anything, any inconvenience, and I hope we can be good neighbors after this, and no more conflict.
Okay. Thank you.
Well,
That's
about
it.
the same.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you all are free to go. Good luck. I hope things get
Thank
ironed
you.
out there.
Thank
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits with that one. Casey Carey's talking about the woman's got a million illnesses. Yeah, sometimes people just get busy enough they just find things to keep them busy, and hearing a kid cry next door is a good way to keep yourself obsessed. Thank you guys for coming out. We'll see y'all tomorrow night, and we'll actually have a camera up. Remember to go to that link at the top. Get Linus to the U.S. It would be really great if she can get the money to come over and visit the United States. Anybody that can donate, we appreciate it. And you guys have a great night. Thank you.